Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Plastic Adventures, the PATC crew. I'm Doug with Steve and our returning guest, Tony.
He's waving. You just can't see
You
it.
just can't see him. He-
Yes.
uh,
Welcome to the toy mill.
yeah. And this is our segment where we're going to be talking about, news or rumors or stuff that we've heard on the internet or any of our other social media platforms. And Tony is going to be bringing a side that we don't normally talk about. He's going to be talking about the gaming side. But first, we'll turn it over to Steve because he's got some news items.
Yes, I do. And they are conveniently written down on a piece of paper, taped, hanging underneath the camera so I can remember them.
High tech.
Okay. So, number one, big rumor for HasLab, G.I. Joe classified Dragonfly. This thing's gotten out. The rumors caught a lot of fire. We don't have it confirmed 100% yet, but we're talking a vehicle that I want to say is probably, they were estimating it at almost 3 feet long once it's complete. Two figures to come with it, Wild Bill and Ace.
No,
So
Wild
do you
Bill,
think
Airborne. Airborne.
Airborne? That's it. Airborne. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Ace, the other guy that flies a jet. So I mean, what do you think about that, Doug? They had a really successful Hiss Tank campaign.
I think this one's going to be even more successful. The Dragonfly, like the Hiss, is a super iconic GI Joe vehicle. But not to mention, it's going to be a helicopter that fixes a 6-inch action figure. So if this thing is going to be 3 feet long, what's the blade length going to be like on that thing? I
I
mean,
don't know. I wonder if it'll droop like the other ones.
well, yeah, you got to worry about that. I mean, you know what I was thinking? I would be like, can I mount that thing to my fan? Like, can I turn that into a have the blades whip around like a fan? I don't know. It's very cool. I love the idea, but it's like if I ever got the USS Flag, right? Where the hell would I put that?
Yeah, don't cry. You got a huge toy room compared to me. You got all this square footage on the floor.
Well, I mean, it, I mean, I'm sure I could fit it right here, but that's not, I don't want to trip on it.
Well, I'm
No,
sure I could fit two or three of them in my toy room very comfortably, but
shut up, man.
just saying.
I think an island would look really nice in there, large enough to support the aircraft carrier USS Flag.
Yeah, and you could put it on a big base of shelves and put cool stuff underneath it.
Yeah, but I don't know if I want to spend the what almost 2 grand now for a USS Flag.
It's only going to
That's
get
not
more
even with
expensive.
all of the pieces.
Yeah,
Think
you're right, Tony. It's only getting more expensive. Yes.
Uh,
Why? Because of us.
yeah.
Because when I go online to buy something cool and vintage, I'm like, damn, that's a little expensive. I'll buy that.
Oh,
Okay.
but I think a 6-inch size Dragonfly is actually really a really cool idea, and I can't imagine
Yeah,
the tier levels that are going to come along with this. What are they going to offer with it? Just like they did with the Hiss tank. So
wow.
I look at that helicopter because it's really cool, really, really cool. But I hear White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane playing in the background, and I start getting Vietnam flashbacks. Okay, so you know how NECA does Ninja Turtles, right?
Mhm.
They did the movie Ninja Turtles, and they're all super great. And unfortunately, they've done Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze. In what's going, in my estimation, going to be your last, we promise last to the last one release of the Turtles. They're doing some 2 packs again with the 4 Turtles. So if you've missed your opportunity to find a sweet NECA figure, it's like a freaking Easter egg hunt. Some stores get them, some don't. You'll have one more opportunity to get all 4 original Turtles. They're slightly tweaked with like maybe different expressions, but
Hmm.
you have yours. I've got mine. I've actually got loose ones and box now.
Yep.
They're terrific. They're the best movie Turtles ever. But it's good for anybody out there looking, not wanting to pay $50 a piece for them or whatever it goes for now. So
Yeah.
those will be coming out pretty soon.
I want them to re-release the foot soldiers because those came out and went like fast. Wasn't
Was
there
there
like
any
a
foot
2 pack?
soldiers in the second movie?
Uh, no. Yeah, there were foot soldiers in the second movie.
Was there?
Yeah, yeah. In the junkyard when they did whatever with freaking Toka and Razor, they screwed up.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I've completely blocked the existence of that movie. Like I remember no details other than Vanilla Ice. And
That's what you remember?
worst of all, Tony's going to be able to identify with this one. Do you know who took me to see that movie, Tony?
Who's that?
My dad. When I was a kid.
Yeah,
You've met my dad.
that's
Like he shares a lot of similarities with your stepdad, Kurt. He didn't know what the F he was watching when we saw that.
And that's the one he watched.
There was nary an exposed breast. There was no actual like violence in that movie. And I remember coming out of it thinking, oh, gee whiz, Dad, that was really cool. And he's just like, well, it was a movie, son. Total silence. Like he wasted, it was at the $2 theater or something when we had one of those, and he was still pissed that he wasted his money.
yeah. No, yeah, I didn't have any people like that in my life that would take me to those kinds of movies.
Yeah. So yes, we're getting our shot at that. Yeah, I don't suppose you've seen the pictures of the G1 Hound that's floating around with weird colors.
Oh yeah, it's got like muted cartoon colors instead of
Yes.
darker green and stuff.
Yeah, in the latest round of reissue news, I mean, you know how we got the Transformers the movie edition of Hot Rod and Starscream where they were the G1 toys painted up with these weird like flat pastel colors.
I passed on both of them. No, thank you.
Me too. No interest. I didn't like the packaging or anything at all on them. Well, I mean, like one of the most sought after G1 cars, I think it's getting the same treatment. I think it's
Are they going to put
in
it
one
in
of
those weird no window boxes?
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't make any sense to put that in that replica G1 boxing if and not have the colors be right, you know. So I'm a little frustrated with that because it's, you know, you passed on these things when they were reissued at Toys R Us in that weird open book style box, but you could not pass on them when you had the G1 replica packaging, right? Like all of those, Starscream and Soundwave and Hot Rod that they reissued. I mean, that was like as perfect as what you could ask for right now to get your memories back. And I think unfortunately they're going to put that Hound in the movie package. I'm going to pass on it if I see it.
So the original Hound was it the darker green paint job?
Yeah, with VAC metal all over the
Yeah.
place. This new one is like a real light shade of green, real light shade of gray, and all of the places that should have been chromed are now just this like odd gray plastic. So
well, if I see one, I'll have to pick it up. I hooked you up with that Hound that I had that was in good condition. But now that leaves me without a G1 Hound. So I mean, I'd have to pick that one up, even if it was the muted colors. If I saw that one, I'd probably pick it up. But I'd take it right out of the box and put it on the shelf. It's not staying in the box.
yeah, the box won't help you out unless it was in those really awesome like a G1 replica box. Then you just have to have it. So
yep.
I get that. Guess what else is starting to hit in stores?
What's that?
I have the power. Movie He-Man Masterverse.
Oh, good. The what like Molf Lundgren.
It is dollar store Dolph or Wish Dolph Lundgren head on the He-Man, the really super awesome looking He-Man body. So if you missed it, Tony, they're catching us up on these Masters of the Universe, the movie figures, and they're doing them in like this premium, like 6-inch format.
Okay.
There's a real rights issue, like a likeness thing. So a company called Super 7 really kind of skirted around that, and they did these figures based off the designs of the original guy that drew the designs for the movie. And they had a pretty convincing like Dolph head, and I have that figure. In order to buy the 3 I wanted, I had to buy a full set of 4 before they'd let me buy singles. So it was like $250 worth of action figures, and I had to sell off the ones I didn't want. Anyways, these pictures started popping up, and there's like a perfect Skeletor, like top to bottom, looks awesome from the movie, but they weren't showing He-Man from the front very well. They had his head turned to weird angles because even Mattel was extremely embarrassed by what they were going to put out as a final product. So the head, I can't even explain what the head looks like that goes with this toy. It's like
What I can say about it is it's going to give those people who are really good at 3D printing and selling add-ons a great opportunity, because there's going to be a lot of people who are looking for an alternate head to fit on that figure.
Yeah, it's an amazing figure, like from the neck down. I mean, I've said that about many different figures, figures. Oh, we're dads. Anyways, but they've got like a classic He-Man head sculpt that comes with it that they're trying to kind of like put on there as like, what if? And it looks like David Bowie and Elon Musk had a baby that sat too close to a microwave. That's what the face looks like on the sculpt. It's pretty bad.
That's a good description. It
I
does
found
not look like Dolph at all. Like in no way, shape, or form does it look like him.
I found
But-
a picture and it's disturbing.
You see that?
Yeah, it's not good.
Dude, you're not even a hardcore collector, but if you saw that on the shelf, you'd be like, what?
What? Am I going to buy this? Yes. Am I going to be pissed? Yes.
I'm honestly going to say, like, if I saw that in the store, even as a He-Man fan, even as a guy that watched the movie, I would think that would be like some cheap knockoff. That's really how it comes across to me.
Yeah. Yeah, and you see where I came up with my 2 DNA donors for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty awful. So I got that one from Super 7 from years ago, and I'm gonna shit, I don't know. I'll probably buy this thing when it comes out and buy a custom cast head or something and fix it, because I just can't not buy it. But
yeah, that's what I'll need. I don't have a movie version He-Man yet, so he would be the first one in my collection. I'm glad they're doing it to give people like me a chance to pick it up, who don't want to go the classics route and pay all that money. So I'm glad we're getting it, but it's definitely going to get an alternate head.
It's so depressing. Even the action figures frowning.
yeah, he can see his reflection off the plastic bubble on the front of the box. Oh no. Okay, so the last thing I wanted to talk about, there's been a bunch of leaked info for SKUs for upcoming Transformers. And I mean, there's all kinds of, we're getting some Diaclone names and stuff kicked out there, but the one that kind of intrigued me is they're doing a Nemesis, the Decepticon ship, the Nemesis, in that Titan scale.
Oh, like they did with the Ark.
Yeah, but I don't know if the Nemesis is going to transform or if it's some kind of big play set or what. But I want to say that the pricing stuck to that thing was like $230.
Woof.
So it's going to be gigantic, and I don't know if it's play set or if it's
going to be disappointing.
What's that?
If it doesn't transform, it'll be disappointing. For $230, it better transform.
Well, it's got kind of weird shape, like I'm trying to picture the Transformer that would be born of that shape. And it would probably look like some kind of praying mantis or something. But
well, they'll probably do what they normally do with things like that they don't know exactly how they're going to transform it, and make part of it a shell and then it would fold back, and then the other part of the Transformer would be underneath it, maybe. But
yep, who knows? I thought it was really neat. Recolored Omega Supreme coming too. As what did they call those guys? The Guardians.
From the
blue and white ones,
from the War for Cybertron series trilogy.
No, from the G1 cartoons. It was Omega Supreme was one of them, but he's orange and gray, and these other guys are like blue and white.
Right. No. I'm saying, are they? They're releasing them. Is it the mold from War for Cybertron? Is it that?
Yeah.
Mold? Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be a repaint. They're trying to get more mileage out of it. I don't know that their janked up Metroplex did as hot as they wanted. So if you missed an Omega Supreme first time around, then you'll at least get a shot at one in different colors.
Oh, that's good news.
Yeah, so I thought that was kind of interesting, and people might want to know that. So Tony, over on your side of the table there, you do a lot of like mini gaming and everything. What's cool in that world, or what piece of news has got you pretty excited over there?
Oh yeah, always releasing new stuff in the miniature hobby world. But one of the things that I'm really looking forward to is Catalyst's upcoming miniature Kickstarter for Mercenaries. It's slated to come out in March of this year. And yeah, it's going to be exciting. They've actually had, wow, I think it's been around for about, they reissued the Battletech miniatures back in about 2015, I believe, and it kind of blew up. I don't think they had anticipated the reaction from the community, and it really did go over very well. And I mean, there was a long time where you couldn't even find product. It was, you kind of just bought, if you saw it restocked, you bought it right away because you didn't want the opportunity to miss out on products. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that Kickstarter. I don't know how much I'll back the Kickstarter. I prefer to get it once it's released in the stores, but yeah, they're definitely Catalyst is definitely doing good things with the BattleTech line of mechs.
Yeah, and I've noticed that there's a lot of redesigns because
Yeah,
they at one point they had the printed rights, or they had licensed out characters from all these different anime, which is why you had like the Robotech or the Macross vehicles and uh Dairugger or whatever, all these other ones. I forget the name that the Battle Master comes from. Anyways, so they had all these designs, but obviously the licenses run out, and we all know that Harmony Gold are a bunch of giant dickwads over there. So what I had noticed years ago is that they started tweaking those designs for like the Phoenix Hawk and the Wasp and the Marauder.
yeah, to get around some of those trademark issues, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's still an amazing game. I remember playing it back in the day in high school, pewter miniatures, and just the idea now that it's back out with the technology they have now. Everything's in plastic, everything looks clean, it's sharp. They've got some great neoprene mats available that you can use for
cool.
your foundations to play the game on. Yeah, it's exciting.
So
I
did,
remember. Oh, go ahead.
oh, I was gonna say, so with these BattleTech type games, that do they ever release like for any of the franchises, like for Votoms or for Dougram or some of those older ones? Did they have tabletop games for those?
You have to go back a ways because they can't do minis based on those anymore. But the original BattleTech miniatures were perfect copies of all of those.
So you can get kind of the ones that were from the Votom or the Dougram ones, right? Those kind of
Yes.
mech looking.
You can get, yeah, you could definitely, it's customizable enough. They come pre-assembled but unpainted, and they basically market it as build your own mercenary faction to recreate one of the old factions, or if you like Steiner, if you like a specific mercenary group, you paint them up like that. So no, there are definitely, the game is very very customizable on how you want to play the game. And there are a ton of supplemental books that come with it. I mean, you can play anywhere from a small star to an entire large battle with multiple stars. They just came out with, I believe this month, they just came out with the BattleTech role playing game. So you could actually play the mech game and then still actually do like a RPG on the side if you wanted to as well. So it's very in depth, and there's tremendous amount of information out there, and they're reprinting stuff. So don't feel like you have to find those old, hard to get copies of books. I know I have a couple old school BattleTech books that are going for a ridiculous amount of money on eBay right now. But uh, please, yeah, I definitely encourage anybody that was ever a BattleTech fan. There is a lot of great material here.
I'd love to have a BattleTech game where we could bring in like a red shoulder scope dog from outside, and just that would be awesome. That would be so awesome. I love the look of those kind of mechs. So to have
Well,
a game that focuses on that, that would be awesome.
if you've never played BattleTech before, everything's customizable. You got points and everything, or weight,
Mhm.
and you got different armaments that you can put on. There's a whole character sheet just for your mech. I love the other component that allows you to actually like role play out and world build. I remember wearing those books out when I had them, Tony,
Yeah.
like back when I was a kid. BattleTech was my bread and butter until I discovered this thing called Star Wars: The Role Playing Game, or Robotech,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I scooted aside the simple tabletop thing because I kind of fell in love with Robotech, and then Palladium and all the other ones that came after that, Heroes Unlimited.
Hmm.
But yeah, BattleTech is an awesome game, and I'm super glad that it's come back around.
Yep.
yeah, me too.
What else have you heard, Tony, in that world?
Um, just not much else. That's probably the big thing on the horizon. I haven't really been monitoring much. I know the elephant in the room is Games Workshop. They're actually in the process of discussing releasing uh, version 10 of their Warhammer 40K universe miniature wargaming. It's an interesting time for Games Workshop, and it's an interesting time for Warhammer 40K. I don't know how much our listeners know about Warhammer 40K. It's kind of a love-hate relationship that I have with them, unfortunately. One of the things that they've done is they've actually started reintroducing the Primarchs back into the Warhammer 40K universe. The Primarchs existed in the 30K timeline. They were the sons of the Emperor. They were the leaders of their factions, the Ultramarines, etc. And what they've started to do now is bring back some of those characters into current times to kind of mix things up and see what that's going to do. And so again, it's that love hate. I really love the Primarchs. I love the old 30K story. In fact, I think I have like 4 versions of of the Visions of Heresy, which is like the big compendium of the storyline. I think I have every version they've ever released. And so yeah, I often peek and look at that, but I do know the new 10th edition's coming out, and I do know they're getting ready to release some Space Marine faction focused battle forces coming out soon. So definitely keep your eyes open if by chance you are a Games Workshop fan. Definitely keep your eyes open. I would encourage anybody in these hobbies to continue supporting these vendors, because we can't get that great new product if there's not people out there to support it and continue purchasing it.
Yeah, that's well said, man. Anytime you can buy in brick and mortar, that helps out the local hobbyists. It helps everybody out. It keeps your comic book store open.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's
So the
just a
real
lot more
question I
fun.
have for you, Tony, is how do you feel about Henry Cavill going into the Warhammer movie?
Yeah, I'm actually really excited. I'm always kind of a glass half full kind of guy. I always give people the benefit of the doubt. It's just my nature. And I, from the interviews I've seen with Henry Cavill, from the conversations that I've seen with him and his feedback, I can tell, or I feel as if he really is committed and really has appreciation for that game and for that fiction or storyline, whatever you want to call it. I am looking forward to seeing what he could do. And in reality, I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head that would be a good person to lead that charge of getting Games Workshop content into the mainstream. I mean, I read a lot of the novels. That's the story is what drives it for me. The miniatures are great. I love to paint them and I love to play the game. But for me, it's just the history on it is just so amazing, and it's so in depth, and it's been so defined. It was started in the early 80s, and you're talking 2022. I think they just hit their 40-year anniversary or whatever it is. I mean, this story has literally been, finely tuned to what it's become today. And there's some excellent storytelling, and I'm looking forward to what they do with it.
Yeah, you can tell anytime that Henry gives an interview and the topic, which usually comes up at least once per interview, of Warhammer comes out, you can see his whole demeanor change. Like he gets excited when he's ready to talk about Warhammer. He's like, he is a geek on this stuff.
Absolutely. And he's been cautious even on how he's approached. I believe in one of the interviews I watched, they basically were asking about a movie or, how did he feel about that? And his comments were very similar to mine. Like, I'm all for it and I would support it, but it's got to have the right person at the helm. And I don't mean any disrespect. The Hollywood folks are popular and famous for a reason, but I really truly believe, and I know we talked about this with the G.I. Joe movie, we have to have people behind these projects that they're fans. They're not just trying to push or sell a product. It's, you're presenting a love of something that you deeply and truly are committed to, and you want to put the best face forward. I don't want a Hollywooded up Warhammer. I want a dark, gritty, true to form, I don't, the bad guys win. That's just the way it is. The good guys don't always come out on top. Like people die. Like that's the world that it is, the dark, grim
Yep.
reality of the future. And I don't want to lose that in the transition.
Yeah, you don't want someone to come in who has little or no exposure to what it is that they're trying to lead or to create. You want somebody who knows the lore, who understands the importance of canon to a point where, sometimes you got to alter things in order for stories to go forward, and I understand that from a writing standpoint.
Sure.
But you just can't throw things away that came before it either. And you really need someone who is writing these stories to understand that.
And I think Amazon provides a great platform for them to put together some kind of test the water. Let's put together some series and see what it does. And then maybe if it gets the backing, then we can start talking about some significant movies. I mean, I hate to say it, if they can make this work, they're literally sitting on a gold mine.
Oh yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
even joking. They will make so much money. And we're talking about Horus Heresy alone, not even the new content, just Horus Heresy, their old stuff. The whole foundation of the game that it's built off of. I believe that's a 38 book series.
Wow.
Could you imagine the movie franchise on that? I mean,
Yeah.
Star Wars is 9 movies. Bah, get out of here with those pathetic numbers.
Yeah. I also think that with that, we're going to see a rise in new Warhammer fans. I really think,
Yeah, no,
we're
I
going to
think
see
so.
we're going to see a rise in popularity. We're going to see it across the board. I think it's going to be a new hit thing. So we'll see
Yeah,
how.
well, I wish him well. I wish him well. I really hope that it turns out. You can tell that he is super passionate. I mean, he's the same guy that's arguing over why Superman has chest hair when they wanted him to shave his chest. And, oh, it's in the book. See, Superman's got chest hair.
Oh, I know Henry Cavill's watching this right this moment, and I just
Yes,
want to
he
send
is.
I want to send a personal message to him. I appreciate what you're doing for 40K. If you need a nerdy sidekick, older guy with balding head, please call me and I'll come and get your coffee. I can talk to you about Warhammer stuff.
I'm sure he's waiting for our podcast to come out on bated breath. He just waits every week, and he's
Every week.
disappointed when we don't have one. I know.
Jesus, this is really starting to sound like an episode of Dr. Phil. I know it's him, but it's just a fake name so that we can talk without being bothered.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
All right. Well, that was a nice big old meaty chunk of plastic Adventures sandbox there, or Plastic Adventures toy mill. Looks like we're starting to run a little low on time there. You got anything else there, Tony?
No, that's all I can think of.
All right.
It's been a little bit of a lull in news because of the holidays and stuff. I think so. I think we're due for some pretty big announcements coming. So I think in the coming weeks we're going to hear some stuff from Hasbro.
Yeah, within the next 4 to 5 weeks, we're going to be seeing a whole bunch of new product on the shelf too.
Yep.
They always do that after Q4, so a lot of stuff will go on clearance, and a lot of the stuff we've been waiting for that should have been here 3 months ago will be hitting the shelves here pretty soon.
Hopefully, King Randor. Can we just get a King Randor, please?
Keeping the eyes peeled.
Not asking for much. Maybe I am. I don't know.
What, you don't want Jitsu?
No,
Because he's warming pegs up here, brother.
Which? Oh, you mean Origins Jitsu?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. All right, I think we're done for Toy Mill. So until next time, send us news. Leave us some comments if you like what we talk about. If you don't like what we talk about, we'll engage with you. So until next time, see everybody later.